I'm excited about technology in general. How does it serve us and how does it serve our customers? How does technology help us develop better software faster, with the, less issues, less defects, etc.? Can we progress faster in order to bring more value to our customers?
Sagive Greenspan, welcome to 20 Minute Leaders. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I really appreciate it. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Sagive. Priority software, let's take a step back for a second. What world are we in? What is sort of this ecosystem that priority software is playing in? And really, what pain point are we talking about?
So priority software is a software company providing products and smart platform for managing companies in different vertical, different sizes, solving a variety of problems. We are operating in 4 different lines of business. One of them is the ERP. The company was founded a long time ago. But we are now providing ERP solutions in about 30 verticals, anything from construction companies, wholesale distribution, pharmaceutical, software in large variety. So that's the ERP, and we'll talk more about that, I believe. The second one is retail. We are providing end-to-end retail systems from the POS, mobile POS, backend of e-commerce website through the entire retail management software into the ERP. The third one is hospitality, hotel management. We are managing, hundreds of, thousands of hotels around the world, check-in, check-out, spa, events, and connectivity to all the online booking systems. Booking.com, Expedia, etc., and education, school management system. All of them are providing software to help our customers manage their business in a more digital way, more agile way, actually more effective, and give better service to their customers. So that's in a high level.
If you had to take all of these different verticals together and draw the line of what's common to them, what sets them apart, I have some intuition from me on what makes that common, but what common trends do you see from a pain point perspective? I mean, why is it that priority software is dealing with these different verticals at the same time?
So when you look at in general trends that are in ERP, but in general in different systems, so I would probably name a few trends that emerged in the last few years. First of all is we want to give a platform that is helping our customers to serve their customers better. So what does it actually mean? It means that it gives them the tools to be more agile, to move quickly, to adapt the systems to their business that is sometimes changing very fast. So all kinds of flexibility and adaptability tools goes into personalization. And how does the system is personalized to their needs, and we are hearing personalization in many contexts. But when you get into large systems like ERP, like retail management, it has its own flavors. I would say automation is definitely something that we're putting a lot of emphasis. How do we enable our customers to shy away from, back-end repetitive work and put their effort and their energy and their headcount into frontline innovation rather than think that the system can do themselves? Cloud is something that is in the heart of of what we do. How do we take the entire management of the software and do it for our customers so they can focus on their own business. And the last one that I would mention the user experience. How do you give them the best user experience that you can offer them so they can do their work in the most effective way?
Mm-hmm. And how common are the modules or the building blocks of these different solutions? Because you're talking about different businesses, different workflows, and different needs. But I'm assuming that there must be some commonalities in terms of the foundational building blocks from the integrations perspective, from the communications perspective, the cloud perspective. So how do you structure sort of the commonalities versus differences between these verticals?
So definitely there are commonalities between the different lines of business. And, as we grow bigger, as we acquire more companies, we're trying to give, the foundation. So the value that we develop on one area will also be suitable for the other. So let's take cloud infrastructure. The cloud infrastructure is definitely common. How do you manage, your cloud infrastructure in the most optimal way? How do you harness the advantages that you are getting from cloud, and how do you get it into value that actually is, that you can actually provide to, to our customers, to the ERP users, etc. And it goes all the way to, to AI. How do you take, AI capabilities such as forecasting, and how do you create and, provide the nuances that are sometimes different, but sometimes there is commonality. So I would separate between what I call the infrastructure and the development tools, etc., to the application level that is different between the different line of business. And then there are people that are specializing in each industry in order to give the right nuances to the right vertical or to the right industry.
Absolutely. And so you talked about a little bit about trends and about, being obviously ultimately you talked about user experience, you talked about trends. What we're seeing over the last few years is a tremendous advancement across all aspects of what you're doing, right? From the infrastructure layer all the way to the user experience layer. Ultimately, right, you're serving businesses which are serving other customers, and you're providing them the tools to do that. So one way of product managers, if you will, to develop the right product is to really know the end customer at the end and understand what they need. How do you do that? Because you're servicing an organization that services the customer. So how do you ensure that you have the right visibility into what the end customer needs?
So it's an interesting question. I would say that, if I take, let's start with the ERP. The ERP has, as a deep layer. It's not thin. It's fairly deep. Of what does an ERP user need in order to run his business? So there are things that are very common, like the financials, the general ledger, everything that you need to do in order to manage financials of a company. And that's pretty similar to a lot of businesses. But when you get deeper, let's take manufacturing as an example, then you're getting deeper into what do you need in order to run a manufacturing company.
Absolutely.
But I think that the tricky thing is how, and that's why we call it a platform and not just a product. Because the difference, at least in my mind or in my view, between a product and a platform, that a platform also gives you tools in order to adjust the product into your specific needs. So you have a large set of tools in order to build the right business processes, in order to adjust it to the way that you are manufacturing, to the way that you recognize the revenue in financials. So in every layer of our product, there are the tools that we let either our delivery team or the customer himself, or we have a large set. We have over 100 system integrator companies that are taking our product and adjust it to the exact needs of a specific customer in a specific industry. Because, think about it, with the same ERP product, we are serving medium-sized companies all the way to large-sized companies in different verticals, on-prem and cloud, all with a single source code. So basically, we're not just offering the infrastructure, and we're not only offering the capabilities, but we're also offering the tools so everyone can adjust it to his customers or to his needs.
Incredible. Okay, so tell me a little bit about yourself. You're talking about many verticals. You're talking about the infrastructure layer, the application layer. Obviously, you care a lot about the end customer and about the user experience. You're talking about, the go-to-market strategy of working with system integrators that are then taking your modules and integrating them in a personalized way. So all around really, really cool things. How did you get into this? What is your background?
So my background, actually, I started my career a long time ago, 30 years ago, and started as a developer. My education is math and computer science, started developing software, team leader, development managers. But in the last, let's say, 20 years or so, I'm in this circle of customers, business, and technology. Different geographies, lived outside of Israel for 16 years, moved back about 8 years ago. Different industries. I was in the telecom business. I was in the financial services, providing payments infrastructure to banks all over the world. And in the last 3 years, I'm a priority in enterprise software. And that's what I do. So
incredible. How do you see what you're doing with priority software fitting into all of the different elements that you talked about? So this intersection of this triangulation that you mentioned, how does priority software enable you to fulfill your interest in all of these three areas?
So if I understood your question correctly, I would say that, my background in different industries and different geographies gave me an understanding of, how do you translate customer needs and the thing that you want to provide them, how do you translate it into technology, and how do you translate them into business and technology, basically? How do you combine the two and take the company into the next level? How do you expand the value that you can provide to your customers? How do you create the best service that you can give them? So, the more, experience that you have from different industries, different countries, different roles, etc., give you a better understanding of how do you develop strategy, and then how do you translate it into a day-and-day execution. Because strategy is great, but without good execution, you are not getting very far.
Absolutely. Okay, so if we're looking today and looking down the line, both on priority software, but also generally speaking about this industry and the ability for companies like priority software to develop these technologies to then be integrated and to solve a lot of these needs of these verticals you're talking about, from ERPs to the retail, etc. Where are we heading? Software is obviously changing. AI is changing everything. Where are we heading to?
So I think we are heading towards an era where the software will not replace our users, but the software will become much more friendly, much more automated. More things that the software will do for you rather than you are working for the software itself. When you talk about automation, how does everything that the software can do for you, you can think about what do you want to do, and the software will do more for you. Personalization that I mentioned, how do you make something that the AI, and that's something we're already doing today. The system learns about your habits, learn about what you're using, what you're not, and the user experience will change automatically in order for you to use the software in the best way. So I would say we are trending towards something that you will not feel that you need to work hard for the software, but the software will learn what you do and will do it better for you. So
absolutely. And so what are you most excited about if you're looking at where we're headed over the next 2-3 years?
I'm excited about technology in general, and how does it serve us, and how does it serve our customers? How does technology help us develop better software faster, with less issues, less defects, etc. Can we progress faster in order to bring more value to our customers? How does technology help us bring better service to our customers? How can we detect issues faster before our customers? How can we serve them better in different channels? So how does technology in general help us, and how can we bring that to our customers?
And how do you keep up? So obviously the last year has shown us that it's very hard to keep up, and given that you're the infrastructure layer, it's perhaps it's critical, because every time you advance, you're effectively advancing many different businesses. What do you do in order to keep up with it?
Oh, that's a tough one. It's almost impossible to keep up in the pace that you want. And it's not just me; it's the entire company. We are today over 500 people.
Wow.
And it's not enough. It's not enough that I will be up to date. The entire company needs to be up to date. But we're investing a lot in innovation. I listen to podcasts in order to be up to date. I'm bringing people from the inside, from the outside, in order to enrich us on what are the latest trends. We look at competitors, we look at the market. We try to learn a lot from the environment. I don't think we are anywhere near having a monopoly on good ideas, and I think it's perfectly fine to learn from what others do and pick and choose the thing that you think can bring the most to your customers. As we acquire companies, we also acquire talent. It's not the main reason why we do it, but as we acquire, we are getting great people, and the combination of people that have been in the organization for a while and people that are coming from the outside and enrich us with different types of knowledge, different type of ideas, etc. This combination, creates a good DNA of cross-pollination, and we are investing in sharing knowledge so we can move faster.
Incredible. Sagive, I really want to thank you for the time. I want you to go back and run the 500 plus person organization that then services so many of the businesses that I get to interact with on the day-to-day. So thank you again for spending this time with me. Sounds like you're right at this intersection of triangulation that's really interesting. And so I really thank you for the time, and I'm wishing you.
Thank you for having me.